Tonight on CFTK-TV News, a major career expo was recently held at the Terrace Sportsplex. A report looks into what the summer could look like for tourism in Northwest BC, and Canada's Prime Minister says nothing is off the table in the trade war.
Northwest BC's only television news team. We are CFTK-TV News.
Good evening, I'm Cale Maslin, and here's what's making the news in the Northwest and beyond for today. To begin, we'll take a look back at a recent event held in Terrace that presented the opportunity for people to potentially find their future career path.
Earlier this week, the 2025 edition of the annual Regional Career Expo was held at the main arena of the Terrace Sportsplex, and it was marketed as an opportunity for various businesses and other organizations to help promote themselves and inform others about what they do, something that everyone who attended seemed more than willing to do.
We're all West Glass. We're a northern British Columbia company, started in 1972 in Smithers, and we've expanded to 20 stores throughout Western Canada. And we do automotive glass, residential glass, and commercial glass, pretty much any glass.
We're here to let people know we're a training center and we provide services. We have employment programs that reach into the region, such as Gear Up and a Spark program, which are targeted for individuals that are needing some additional supports. It's virtual, it's 12 weeks long. We offer also other programs, settlement services. We also individualize training and career planning with our Work BC programs as well. So there's funding and resources that are available through our programs, including self-employment.
But self-promotion wasn't the only thing that the Expo's attendees could participate in, as they were also given the chance to recruit others to join their respective business or organization. And in somewhat might consider the essential feature of the event, it offered opportunities for networking and the potential to build new and valuable professional relationships.
It's nice to work with the local Indigenous community. I haven't been in another community. I haven't seen another Indigenous-led show, and this one's great.
We've worked with Skilled Trades BC. We've worked with some of the unions. We've worked with the ISO's Port Authority.
Along with Hecade Strait and All West Glass, some of the other booths at the event included ones for the Terrace RCMP, the Skeena Diversity Society, Volunteer Terrace, the Kitsalis 5-tier system, Coast Mountain College, Fisheries and Oceans Canada, and Skilled Trades BC. For CFTK TV News, I'm Cale Maslin.
Through the Active Transportation Infrastructure Grant Program, the town of Smithers was recently able to get a total of $417,000 in funding from the BC Ministry of Transportation and Transit. Those funds are set to be used on the construction of a brand new multi-use pathway that will connect to the already existing pathway on Fulton Avenue. The new pathway will be located along Main Street and stretch from Highway 16 all the way to 10th Avenue. The main intention of the new pathway is to help people out when they are traveling along the Bulkley River Bridge to the downtown area of Smithers. Northwest BC will have a different summer than usual, as many Canadians may prioritize traveling within their own border. Damian Smith of CFTK-TV has more on what to expect from the tourism industry in the next few months.
In Northwest British Columbia, the region is now only a couple of months away from the summer tourism season, which has always been a much easier time to travel in. And during the middle of a trade war, the topic of Americans traveling to Canada was a major discussion at the BC Tourism Industry Conference.
The sentiment for travel from Americans to Canada, while there's a little uncertainty, we are still a destination of choice. So we'll see how this plays out, but there are many Americans that are sympathetic to Canada in this, the early stages of this tariff war that we're having with the United States.
With the north of BC being largely remote, this practice is not something entirely new for Smithers, with the town applying similar tactics for regional tourism just 5 years ago.
During the pandemic, we focused and worked well together about getting people to travel within our region. So if you're uncertain about where you might want to go, we have all kinds of amazing opportunities in Northwest BC. So, if you're a resident of Rupert, enjoy Terrace Kitimat, come to Smithers, weekends in Prince George, and all the way along. We can support each other as well.
Skeena MLA Claire Rattay believes that in order for the Northwest residents to be able to travel with more money in their pocket, air travel costs will have to be something to fix.
If it's less expensive to fly somewhere in the United States or even to another country or continent than it is to travel within our own country, then we're not doing a very good job of encouraging interprovincial travel and tourism. And at a time when people are struggling financially to the degree that they are, it's hard to tell people, well, you should travel within Canada. Obviously, we want them to, but we have to find a way to get those costs down. I mean, it's absolutely insane.
Our businesses are going to be challenged, and we all need to do what we can to support them. Support your friends and neighbors. So take your travel dollars, spend them locally and regionally, and enjoy what we have to offer. But please help us welcome those in order to keep our hotels, our tour operators, our transportation companies healthy as well. We're all going to need to work together on this.
From CFTK-TV, I'm Damian Smith.
Coming up next, one of BC's longest-serving politicians isn't giving up after being rejected by the Conservatives. Welcome back. Prime Minister Mark Carney says nothing is off the table when it comes to the escalating trade war. U.S. President Donald Trump is threatening a 25% tariff on foreign-made autos starting next week, but it was Trump who reached out to Carney to arrange a call, and for now, Carney isn't revealing what his counterattack could be. CTV's St. Jean Alexander reports.
Calling the latest tariffs unjustified and rejecting any attempt to weaken or break Canada, Mark Carney paused his campaign and met with his cabinet in Ottawa. Trump has requested a call with Carney hours after he imposed 25% tariffs on all cars made outside the U.S.
It's about making America great again, making it strong and prosperous again.
The Prime Minister says he will use that call to discuss how to protect workers and build both economies.
I will make clear to the President that those interests are best served by cooperation and mutual respect, including of our sovereignty.
These latest levies, set to kick in on April 2nd, are causing anxiety on both sides of the border.
It's quite a punch to the gut.
With unions in the U.S.
150 years of economic theory that really show clearly that tariffs are dumb.
And in Canada, where elbows up t-shirts are part of a rallying call.
These are our jobs. These are our plants. These are our communities. And this is our country. And we are fighting for all of it.
Hey, Alex, how are you doing, man? On the campaign, with the NDP promising tax breaks and the Conservatives TFSA top-ups, much of the attention was on the trade war.
My message to President Trump is knock it off. Stop attacking America's friends.
Donald Trump stabbed us in the back. It's a betrayal. It's a betrayal, and Canadians are angry.
Carney says Canada will have to fundamentally reimagine its economy and learn to succeed in a drastically new world.
The old relationship we had with the United States, based on deepening integration of our economies and tight security and military cooperations, is over.
But he refused to tip his hand, saying he will wait to see what Trump actually does when the tariffs are supposed to kick in before making his counter moves public. St. Jean Alexander, CTV News, Vancouver.
Now to the emotional roller coaster experienced by one of BC's longest-serving politicians. Mike DeYoung was both stunned and upset when the Conservatives rejected him as a candidate to run in Abbotsford South Langley. He still hopes to get elected there, so now he's running as an independent. CTV's Craig Krause has the story.
For reasons that are never explained to you, you're told you're not welcome.
Months after campaigning and rallying volunteers in the Fraser Valley for a Conservative bid, former provincial cabinet minister Mike DeYoung remains clueless as to why he was rejected.
Literally the 11th hour, you have to call and tell them, yeah, they didn't approve me.
What was the response like?
Tears.
But with only weeks before Election Day, the longtime Abbotsford MLA will be on the ballot.
I'm going to run as an independent.
DeYoung says success is a long shot for independents, but believes there's a troubling trend of major Canadian political parties manipulating the candidate's selection process.
Someone in Ottawa had different ideas and decided to impose those ideas.
The Conservatives instead going with 25-year-old Sukhman Gill, a current Kwantlen University business student and a local blueberry farmer. On Thursday, the party's leader, Pierre Poilievre, was asked about the riding selection.
Listen, the reality is that Conservatives are going to have solid candidates right across the country.
Never directly addressing why DeYoung was turned down, leaving one political analyst puzzled.
This idea that Mike is not qualified as a candidate, again, deeply mystifying.
It's baffling, it's frustrating, and it's also in the past.
Focused on the future, being an independent voice for Abbotsford South Langley, but with a growing threat from the U.S., he says there's only one party he wants to form power.
I haven't been shy at all about how I think the interests of the country would be better served under a Conservative administration than the alternatives.
And I spoke to the Conservative candidate for Abbotsford South Langley over the phone, and Gill tells me he hopes to speak soon, but is waiting for party approval. Craig Crowe, CTV News, Vancouver.
Another vote is happening before the federal one, and that's a by-election in the city of Vancouver. 2 council seats are up for grabs, and a record number of people have cast ballots in early voting. Lineups could be seen around City Hall, but the mayor's ruling party isn't happy with how the advanced voting is being conducted, despite having the power to change it. CTV's Isabella Zavarisi explains.
Lines this long aren't common in by-elections.
I ended up in line, including voting, for an hour and 15 minutes.
Hundreds of Vancouverites descended on City Hall Wednesday for advance voting, casting their ballots for 2 vacant council seats.
We were processing 1 ballot every 15 seconds.
Not fast enough, according to the ruling ABC party, which is running 2 candidates.
I did get a number of text messages from some people saying that they'd taken their lunch hour or even after work had driven by City Hall and had planned on voting in the advance poll and decided not to because of the lineup.
ABC says in the 2022 municipal election, voters had access to 22 advance polling stations.
We can't compare a general election to a by-election.
The by-election has 2 early voting days at City Hall. The city's chief election officer says staff modeled this year's by-election after a previous one. She adds if ABC wanted changes, it should have been addressed months ago. In January, council approved a report outlining staff's plans.
To come back after the fact and frankly repudiate our staff and embarrass our staff as if they're not doing a competent job is offensive to me. I think they did an incredible job.
More than 2,800 people voted on Wednesday, a 44% increase compared to the last by-election.
We surpassed any expectations we had, for sure.
The next chance to vote is April 1st at City Hall. The final day is April 5th. Isabella Zavarisi, CTV News, Vancouver.
And now we take a look at both your nightly and weekly weather forecast. On the north coast, the conditions for tonight are expected to be partly cloudy with the low settling in at around 6 degrees, and the rest of the week in that area will likely contain a fluctuation in conditions from rain to mixed sun and clouds, to all sun to all clouds, and then back to the mixed sun and clouds, as the high bounces between 12 and 8 degrees. In the Terrace Kitimat area, tonight's conditions will see a few clouds and a low at -1 degree, while the upcoming week will include some mixed sun and clouds, some purely sunny days, rain and flurries, before transitioning back to mixed conditions, while their high shifts from 15 to 8 degrees. And in the Bulkley Valley and Lakes District, the nightly conditions should see mainly clouds and a low down at -6 degrees. And over to their weekly forecast, that area is said to be home to a fair bit more sun, with some clouds and even a potential few flurries mixed in as well. Checking out the highways now, visit Drive BC for the latest and up-to-date conditions, and as always, drive safe out there. On Highway 16, there is slippery sections west of McBride and between Priestley Hill and Purden Lake, utility work near Daco and east of both Fort Fraser and Prince Rupert, mowing east of McBride, and the Usk Ferry has been shut down for the season with the cable car now in effect. Highway 37 has avalanche control activity planned between Bell 2 and Bobquin, slippery sections south of Jade City and north of Bobquin, frost heaves north of Iskoot and Bobquid, and roadside brushing north of Kitimat. And the Telegraph Creek Road has slippery sections west of Dease Lake, with a rest area being closed also west of Dease Lake. And this is what the roads were looking like this afternoon around the region from the view of the province's highway cams. Still to come is a look at the complications that could emerge when trying to buy Canadian while vehicle shopping. Welcome back. If you're in the market for a new car at the moment, you might want to look at buying it very soon. On the heels of the car tariff announcement in the US, prices here in Canada are expected to jump too. As CTV's Kelly Gregg reports, buying Canadian gets real complicated when it comes to rides.
First, it will be finished cars. Then, some car parts that will face a 25% tariff in the U.S. A move Gabriel Gerina says will have an impact on prices here too.
If we have 25% tariffs on those parts, that's going to increase the cost of the vehicle no matter where it's sold.
According to research by J.D. Power, a 25% tariff would increase new car prices in Canada by around $6,000, bringing the average cost of a new vehicle next year from $49,000 to $55,000. And other tariffs on steel and aluminum could drive that even higher. Unlike with other products, the idea of boycotting American-made cars is complicated. Many international companies have production lines in North America. Japan-based Honda, for example, has 12 plants in the U.S., and most American brands aren't entirely produced in the States.
There is no such thing really in Canada as an American car. I mean, you can't just read a label like, your strawberries at the grocery store, product from the US or product from Mexico.
Certain labor costs are way cheaper in Mexico. That's where they make wiring harnesses and things that are very labor intensive. Energy costs are very low in Canada. So things like aluminum parts are easier to produce here.
Despite Ontario being Canada's car hub, many suppliers are from Quebec. The provincial economy minister saying there will be an impact. It also has car dealers concerned.
They're retailers of a product that if it's produced less at a higher cost, it won't be good for them.
For those in the market for a new ride,
if you're thinking about buying a car now, be it used or new, do it very, very soon.
But he says the news coming out of the White House is changing by the hour too, making it even trickier for companies and customers. Kelly Gregg, CTV News.
More than 40 Juno Awards will be handed out in Vancouver this Sunday, including for Rock Album of the Year. Sum 41 is up for the honor as the band celebrates their induction into the Canadian Music Hall of Fame, but they're facing some fierce female competition. CTV's Christine Long explains.
Rock Album of the Year is traditionally a male-dominated category at the Juno Awards. No Bro, a female-centric Montreal band, is looking to change that.
Especially with this album, I really didn't think people were going to take it as seriously as they have been because of the name.
The name of their nominated album, which we can't say on TV, is No Bro's reaction to abortion rights being clawed back in the United States.
Get out of this place! Our rights and our rage about it, and not like being like just passive about it and just speak about it.
There's been women on stage always, and I don't think it's new, but I'm happy it's like getting more attention now, and it's really awesome to play with all women.
Along with their strong message, No Bro just wants to play their punk rock loud.
Women and like every trans people and queer people and people of color and everybody can do what they want.
No Bro has been selected to play a gala on Saturday night in Vancouver and plan on making their message and music heard.
Like women, it's really important, or just anyone, to, you know, make art, especially in desperate times, because for so many throughout history, like women have been like written out of the story, and through like music or art or whatever, it's a chance for us to insert ourselves back. We're totally free in our bodies, and I think we should just be ourselves on stage and like bring that exciting and powerful energy, and I hope that is transmitted to the audience.
And hoping that will resonate at this Sunday's celebration of the best music in Canada. Christine Long, CTV News.
And now we turn our attention to how the stock markets look today compared to yesterday prior to its closure. The Canadian dollar is up 9/100ths of a cent, the price of gold is up $15.90, oil is down 55 cents, natural gas is the same as yesterday, aluminum is down $43. In Toronto, the TSX is down 309.76 points, the Venture Index is down 6.26, in New York, the Dow Jones is down 631.15, and NASDAQ is down 418.44. Still ahead, the Canucks are fighting an uphill battle to make the NHL playoffs. Welcome back. The Vancouver Canucks are in a tight battle for the last playoff spot in the Western Conference. The odds are not in their favor to make it either, and they've hit the injury bug. But as CTV's Kevin Chirac reports, the team is showing that they won't go down without a fight. Here is this week's Ringside Report.
Cross to DeBrusk, puts one through, forward, scores!
Fighting an uphill battle.
We got some guys stepping up for us.
From veteran defenseman Derek Forbert to stick-twirling rookie sniper Jonathan Lekaramaki, the Canucks finding ways to win and keeping their playoff hopes alive.
These are the games that we look forward to down the stretch. Like, these are why you play the game. You know, we got to keep scratching and clawing for every point that we can get.
The shorthanded Canucks playing without injured top two centers Elias Pettersson and Philip Hedl.
What I like is the resolve and the no quit. You know, whatever happens, whether it's a bad period or lack of execution for a short period of time, we regain it fairly quickly, and that helps you. So obviously we're getting really good goaltending.
Thatcher Demko returned to the ice in style, making clutch save after clutch save in wins against the Devils and Islanders.
That was, to me, as close as we've seen as sort of peak last year, Vezina Trophy finalist Thatcher Demko all year.
Good news for a goalie who's missed most of the season with injuries, leaving some questioning his long-term future in net.
The fact that he trusts his body, like, that's what that shows me, that there isn't any fear with the lower body injury, that he's worked his way past any mental blocks about the ability to play all out, fully extended, no hesitation. That's what those saves tell me.
With just 10 games left, the Canucks are battling the Flames and Blues for the final playoff spot, with MoneyPuck.com giving Vancouver around a 20% shot at making it.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Those odds increasing or decreasing with every win or loss. Next up, Columbus on Friday. Kevin Chirac, CTV News, Vancouver.
That's all of our news for now. From everyone here at CFTK-TV News, I'm Cale Maslin, and thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.